before you can be blessed. God will give you these 3 tests. If God has not answered your prayers, it's because you keep failing these 3 tests. So, listen attentively and, at the end of this video, write down these 3 tests in the comments to show that you have understood. As you journey through these tests, the devil will try to convince you to turn it off. But I tell you, do not listen to his whispers. Before we start the tests, bless yourself by affirming then typing in the comments. I am deserving of all wealth, abundance, prosperity, and success in my life. Let's write it down together. I am deserving of all wealth, abundance, prosperity, and success in my life. Feel free to like the video, subscribe and save it so that you can navigate back to these tests every day. Now let's start the tests. Number 1. Test of stewardship. The foundational principle that whoever can be trusted with little can also be trusted with much, as highlighted in Luke 16 verses 10 to 12, sets the stage for the first divine test, the test of stewardship. In understanding stewardship, we recognize that it transcends mere management of physical assets to include every resource God entrusts to us, time, talents, spiritual gifts, and even the revelations we receive from Him. In examining our approach to stewardship, it's crucial to consider not just what we have, but how we use it. Are we treating our current blessings with gratitude and care? Are we investing our time and resources into God's kingdom with wisdom and dedication? This kind of stewardship is indicative of our readiness to handle more from God, showing that our focus is on kingdom impact rather than personal gain. Jesus spoke about the importance of stewardship in various parables, emphasizing that it is a reflection of our character. The parable of the talents, for instance, illustrates that God rewards those who actively and wisely increase what they have been given. This principle is not limited to financial or material resources. For instance, how do we steward the spiritual insights and truths that God reveals to us? Matthew 13 verses 11 to 13 suggests that those who appreciate and apply divine truths will receive more, whereas those who disregard them will lose even what they have. This reveals that stewardship also applies to our spiritual life and growth. Moreover, stewardship reflects our ability to handle increased responsibility. As we faithfully manage what God has already entrusted to us, we demonstrate our capability to handle greater tasks and higher callings. This could mean leading a larger team, managing more substantial resources, or influencing a broader community. It's about proving our reliability and commitment in every assignment, no matter how small. Yet, stewardship is not merely about responsibility but also about readiness. Are we spiritually, emotionally, and practically ready for the increase? Sometimes, this readiness involves passing through seasons of seeming insignificance where our faithfulness is refined and tested. It requires diligence and patience, staying committed to God's calling even when it feels like we are not making any visible progress. Number 2. Test of sincerity. The test of sincerity examines the authenticity of our faith and our motives in following Christ. This test challenges us to consider why we do what we do in service to God and others. It's a probing of our hearts that reveals whether our actions are motivated by a true love for God or are influenced by selfish ambitions. In Psalms 26 verse 2, David asks God to test his heart and thoughts, a plea for divine examination to ensure his motivations align with God's will. This reflects an understanding that the purity of our intentions affects our spiritual trajectory. If our actions are rooted in a desire for personal gain or human approval, they lose their value in God's eyes. However, if they are done out of a genuine love for God and a desire to serve His purposes, they are both pleasing to Him and potent in their impact. The sincerity of our devotion is often revealed during times of difficulty. Just as the Israelites were tested in the wilderness to reveal what was in their hearts, Deuteronomy 8 verse 2, God allows us to go through challenges to test our faithfulness. Will we continue to serve God when the rewards are not evident? Will we maintain our integrity when we are not under the watchful eyes of others? James 4 verses 2 to 3 warns about the perils of wrong motives, especially when we ask God for things with selfish intentions. When our desires stem from worldly lusts, they do not align with God's purposes and are likely to go unmet. This passage highlights the importance of aligning our desires with God's will, ensuring that our prayers and actions are aimed at furthering His kingdom rather than our own. Sincerity also involves transparency with God. It means being honest about our weaknesses, doubts, and failures. It requires a humble acknowledgement that we need God's strength and guidance to live out our faith effectively. This kind of sincerity fosters a deeper relationship with God, where we are not just serving Him with our actions but also connecting with Him at the level of our heart and spirit. Moreover, sincerity is about consistency in our walk with God. It's about being the same person in private as we are in public, maintaining our devotion and commitment to God regardless of external influences or pressures. This consistency is crucial as it builds spiritual integrity and character, forming a solid foundation for our lives and ministries. If you are finding value in this, please like the video, subscribe, then drop a comment. If you don't know what to say, just say thank you God. Number 3. Test of secrets. The test of secrets probes the integrity of our private lives, focusing on what we do when no one else is watching. Proverbs 15 verse 3 reminds us that the eyes of the Lord are everywhere, monitoring both the evil and the good. This divine oversight assures that God is aware of everything we do, both in public and in private. This test is critical because it reveals whether our public persona matches our private life. It assesses whether we live with integrity, maintaining the same standards of behavior whether we are under public scrutiny or alone. This alignment between public and private life is essential for genuine spiritual health and authority. One key aspect of this test is how we handle the sins and temptations that confront us in secrecy. Hidden sins, if not confessed and forsaken, can ensnare us, leading to spiritual decay. They can create barriers between us and God, diminishing our spiritual vitality and effectiveness. Matthew 6 verses 1-4 speaks to the importance of doing good deeds not to be seen by others but for the eyes of God alone. This principle underlines the importance of sincerity in our actions, doing the right thing for the right reason, regardless of who is watching. The hidden aspects of our life can also include the personal disciplines we maintain in our walk with God, prayer, Bible study, fasting, and other spiritual practices done in secret. These disciplines are not for show but are integral to our personal relationship with God. They strengthen our spirit and fortify our character, preparing us for public service and leadership. The power of a believer's public ministry often flows from the depth of their private devotion. Furthermore, handling secrets responsibly also involves dealing with our fears, doubts, and insecurities. These aspects, often hidden from public view, can significantly impact our decisions and actions if left unchecked. By bringing these to God in prayer and seeking His guidance and wisdom in dealing with them, we ensure that they do not adversely affect our ministry or our walk with Him. The test of secrets also extends to our stewardship of the revelations and insights God gives us. Like the parable of the sower, what we do with the word God plants in our hearts in privacy ultimately determines the fruit it bears publicly. Do we nurture and meditate on these insights, allowing them to transform us, or do we neglect them, causing them to wither? In practical terms, passing the test of secrets might mean setting up accountability structures to help maintain integrity in areas we struggle with privately. It might involve being transparent with a trusted spiritual mentor or community about our challenges, thereby reducing the power secrecy holds over us. The tests of stewardship, sincerity, and secrets are not barriers to discourage us but are divine tools used to prepare us for greater works and deeper blessings. They ensure that when the blessings come, we are ready not only to receive them but to use them responsibly for the advancement of God's kingdom. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and in the comment, answer the question, does God really exist? Then tell us why you think your answer is right.